Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Daddy Talk. I'm TSpeaks. And daddies, let's just jump straight to it. I'm going to borrow a line from Paid in Full. You're tough, right? You are tough, right? You're a man, right? And in Paid in Full, Cameron was saying to his man after he had got shot, he wanted him to get back in the game. And his man was like, I've been changed. You don't understand. My breathing, I forgot the character's name. But he was like, my breathing is different. My body don't move the same. And Cameron was like, but wait, you tough, right? In other words, remember who you are, right? Well, daddies, that's what I want to say to you. You're tough, right? You're a man, right? So I need you to get back in there and fight. Fight for the relationship with your child. I know that, listen, I know like any other man who had the good pleasure of impregnating a woman who's obstinate, who's difficult to be with, downright hateful, whatever the case may be. I've experienced that with my son's mother, just straight, just being real. You know what it is. I always speak real. I always speak straight to the point. And she's not the nicest person at all to deal with. She'll be the first one to say, I love my kids. And yet she does everything to hurt them in terms of by way with me. No communication, no nothing. But here's the thing. See, I'm tough for my kids. I'm getting back in that ring and I'm swinging again. I'm deflecting what I can. I am finding a way to get around her, to circumvent her efforts to really, if you really think about it, to get me uneasy, to get me off my pivot, to knock me backwards, to keep me on my heels instead of my toes, to make me uncomfortable, to just stress me. Let's be honest. A lot of women who have kids with men, because the man, and this I think is my case, when the man decides to absolutely leave her, she gets hostile, gets upset, gets spiteful, wants revenge, when in fact the man has done nothing except chose a different way to live, oftentimes in peace. Not saying it's the case all the time, but it is in my case, and yet and still my son's mother decides that she wants to talk sideways out of her mouth. She says different things attacking my character. None of it's true. And that's the thing. None of it's true, but she'll say it anyway, just trying to get underneath my skin, just trying to move me, and the thing about it is, look at it. If I talk to her and I'm calling up to tell her, listen, I'm coming by to get my kids because we have disagreement, 1 week her, 1 week me. And I'm going to get into that on another message. And sometimes it's not always easy for me to have them on my week, but I want them also sometimes on her week. So I'll call up, she'll say something to get upset. If I hang up the phone, who's benefiting and who's losing? If I hang up the phone, the kids are losing the opportunity to be with their dad. I'm not winning an argument with her because all it's really doing is charging her up for the next argument. And I'm not attacking women, but women have a way of putting the needs and the cares of the children to the side and literally doing whatever they can to knock the man down, either with their words or their actions, or taking them to court, or calling them all kind of names out of their original name, whatever the case may be. But here's the thing. My brothers, we're tough, right? So I need you to get back in there, see, because my son's mother can never and will never get me to stop being my son's father and daddy. See, I did more than just create them. I did more than just plant them in her. I did more than just that. I'm walking them straight through this life, imparting into them what I have. And as I said on the previous message, what I don't have. I'm doing everything that a daddy's supposed to do for their child until it's my time to cross into eternity. So no matter what she does, she goes on mute. When she's talking and I've already finished talking to the kids or whatever, I hang up the phone. I don't have to listen to it. When she sends me a text, right now, I don't respond to any of her texts. Literally, I wouldn't even care if she sent me a text where she never says hello and asks a question. She just straight answers the question or says something because she knows I'm a person of order and introduction. So I always speak to anyone, business, personal, whatever, with a good morning, good evening, how are you? And then I go forward to the business at hand. She will go straight in and say something, or she'll start telling me, oh, you need to do this. And I literally don't respond. Why? Because I'm tough. I'm tougher than that. You can't get underneath my skin. My skin is tougher than that. You can't make me move. You can't make me literally go and distance myself from you Because as long as you have my kids, I'm not going anywhere. And it's funny though, because when I have my kids and she calls, I never say anything smart to her or anything. I put the kids on the phone. When they're in my house for the week, she literally, you can call them, but I told her she started calling at night when the kids already sleep, and you're only calling to check and see what I'm doing. You're only checking to see, and listen, I'm not even going to answer your call. I asked her before, respect my house. Don't call me at 11 o'clock. I don't call you at 11 because I know my boy's asleep. I sent her a picture one day on Christmas with them opening up their toys just to show her, hey, look, they had a good time. What does she do? She sends back the picture. She looked at it, blew it up. The entire background around the boys was dark. She blew it up and found something in the picture and then texted me and said, I see this. Had nothing to do with the kids on Christmas. What did I do? Ignored her because I'm tough. Not tough as in fighting. I'm tough as in not fighting. That's the message. You tough, right? So be tough enough to not fight, to not respond, to not give in to the nonsense. Because daddies, my brothers, our children need us. I don't care if she has your missus, your kids' mothers have the kids most of the time. If they have custody of them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you have to be absent. It doesn't mean, listen, and they will, listen, they spent time with us. Think about it. We made kids with them. So there was a degree of intimacy at one point. At one point, we all liked the other person, or we at least liked them enough to do the act, to create the kids. So they know us, just like we know them. Although they pull out different personalities and characters after the fact, and it usually shocks me. But here's the thing. I want you to be so tough to where you don't let yourself be moved, to where you don't give in to an argument, you don't hang up the phone, you don't forget about going to see the kids or picking the kids up or going to a basketball game or going to a spelling bee or going to after school program, going swimming or going to tennis. Listen, coming up with a vacation for you and your kids. You can do the most inexpensive things for a vacation for your children. You can get a tent and go camping. Your kid is older, great, go to the beach. Whatever it is, get on a plane, whatever you can do. I want you to do that irregardless to what the mothers of the children are hoping you do, because get this, in your absence, it gives them a chance to tell the child what a no good such and such you are, how much you're not doing this, and they can say it, even if they don't say it directly to the child. They can say it on the phone where the child can hear. You don't want that. Number two, you never want your child coming up with the conclusion, you know what, my father didn't care. My father didn't come. I didn't care about if he came with a gift. I cared about if he came with his presence. And I know my mother is stressing him and vexing his spirit. But doesn't he remember me, that I'm here? Make sure you stay tough for your child. And make sure you get back in that ring and you keep fighting for, first of all, to be in your child's life, to be a positive factor. And forget about what you don't have for your child. Go out and get it. And see, the mothers would love to say, oh, it's all about money. But if you gave them all the money in the world and you were still happy without them, they would still be miserable and look to make you miserable. Because oftentimes the child's mother does not want you to be happy. But push all that to the side. And I want you to focus on your child. See, because if you're focused on a goal, a lot of times the steps getting to that goal, you don't pay attention to. You mute her when necessary. You say a few words. And when it starts to go left, okay, hey, listen, gotta go. Talk to you later. Bye. Or you buy a cell phone and give it to your child and say, you call me back and forth on this. One way or another, find a way to stay in your child's life, to get back in your child's life. And above all, forgive your child. Oftentimes, it's not their fault. Oftentimes, you have to understand, if you grew up underneath a person who was always mean, always hateful, saying mean words, saying underlining things about a person's character, that child sometimes will pick it up and embrace it as theirs, not knowing that they just adapted to something. Be forgiving to your child. And above all, be tough and get back in there and fight. Your child and your child's life, their mental stability, and their outlook on life, a lot of times starts with you. I'm TSpeaks.